Hey guys, and thanks for stopping by my channel. So today we're going to be talking about horror movies. Of course we are. And in today's video, I hope it's not too red, but I love the red one. Anyways, in today's video, we're going to be talking about psychological horror. Yes, I love psychological horror. So, what is psychological horror? Well, in my terms, my opinion, psychological horror is when you leave a movie and you can't stop thinking about it. It weasels its way into your brain and messes you up. And in my opinion, that is the best kind of horror. It doesn't rely on jump scares. If you don't know what jump scares are, that's basically when a movie has like a very tense moment and the music gets all serious and you think something's gonna happen, and then they either scare you with a loud noise or something comes straight at you at the video, like into the camera, like boom, to scare you. And I hate that. Also, do you like my duck? I hate when they do that because that is a cheap scare. And of course you're gonna jump because we are human. We have flight or fight reflexes. And when something comes out at us or scares us suddenly like that, it's going to cause a startle response. But not with psychological horror. Psychological horror scares you deeper and more meaningfully and messes you up. So I've got two that I want to talk about today. Let's get into it. The first one goes against my rules. My rules are, I don't like movies that are really gory. I just don't care for it. I know some people like gory movies. I'm not one of them. I don't need to see it. I've seen it all. It's boring. Find something else to entertain me with because blood and guts ain't it, sis. Also, I don't care for movies that use excessive torture. I don't like it. I don't need to see that. Hostel is a movie that comes to mind that uses a lot of torture and gore in their movies. I've seen them. They're not going to be on my lists. I don't like torture. Unfortunately, my number one psychological movie does have both of these things. And it is the original Saw movie. Now please, if you just don't like Saw, hang with me, please, because I have more to say on this. First of all, the original Saw movie was brilliant. You have to look past the gore and the torture though. And I know it's hard to do because some people can't handle it, and I get that. But deep down, it is a psychological horror movie. So basically, it's the bad guy, what he does is he puts his victims into these traps. They are situations where the victim has a choice to make. They can either do nothing and definitely die, or they can do something really gruesome and heinous, but live. And he asks the questions, what are you willing to do in order to survive, right? So that's pretty heavy, that's pretty intense. And then I also think, what happens to the victims that survive after? I mean, let's say you did that horrible, heinous thing. You have to live with that the rest of your life. That's so much therapy that some people probably couldn't live with themselves after knowing what they did to get there. So that is such a mind F in itself. Also, a good psychological horror movie will oftentimes, and not just psychological horror, but any movie or story, when you can sympathize with the bad guy, when you feel and you kind of understand where the bad guy is coming from, that is good storytelling, in my opinion. And I feel like that, I felt that way with Jigsaw, the bad guy in the Saw franchise. Now, I've seen all the Saw movies, and I can say they aren't all good. So there are a sequel where like a copycat killer or something puts the victims into situations where no matter what they do, they're gonna lose and they're gonna die. And I don't see the point in that. I don't see that as being fair. I don't see that as being a good story. Where is my water? I need water. The first Saw movie left me thinking, okay? And when a movie can do that for me anyways, that's a good movie. Let's say you don't like gore. and you don't like torture, I feel you. I get it. I get it. Also, oh, I forgot to tell you, is Saw scary? Yes. Yes, Saw is very scary. It is not for the faint of heart. If you don't like horror, I don't know why you're here, but I did challenge myself to find a horror movie for everyone, and I probably could. But if you don't like gore and torture, that's fine. I have another movie for you, and this one might hit the mark. So Saw is scary, and it is very gory. But there is another one. And I happen to pass on this movie so many times because it's an old movie, and for some reason I thought, oh, well, this movie can't be good because it's so old. And boy, was I wrong. So I eventually one day decided to watch this movie because there was nothing else to watch, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And it blew my mind. It blew my mind. This movie is called Jacob's Ladder, and I can't remember who the main character is. Tim Sutton. I'll put his name down below, as I do. But he plays the main character. And this movie, if you've seen it, you know. You just know, you know? No spoilers, okay? I don't deal with people that spoil movies. I had the movie Fight Club spoiled for me on purpose by this guy that I worked with, and I will never forgive him to this day. Fight Club is not a horror movie. This is just a tangent, okay? But Fight Club has a twist that changes everything, and he ruined that for me on purpose because he's a jackass, and I'll never forgive him. Anyways, moving on. So please, if you've seen Jacob's Ladder, do not ruin this, and no spoilers, okay? But it's a very difficult movie to explain also. It's like, how do you explain this movie? Okay, well, this is what I'm gonna say. It is a story about a man who is coming home from the Vietnam War and is trying to get back to his life and live his life. But it doesn't go as planned, I guess you could say. That's all I can really say. Oh, and he's dealing with the death of his son. That's pretty explainable early on in the movie, so that's not really like a huge deal, I don't think. But he's trying to deal with life after the war and how things have changed or not changed. It is such a weird movie. I will say this though, it is not scary. It's kind of intense sometimes. It's definitely weird sometimes, but I don't find that it is a scary movie. It is also not a gory movie. So if you don't want a scary or gory movie, you should give this one a try, even though it's old. I know. I should never judge a movie by its age, and for that I am sorry, because this movie blew me away. So it's very story driven. It is very character driven, and I do like that. You have to watch this movie all the way through. I watch every movie I ever start all the way through. There was only one movie that I never finished because it was so stupid, and it was called Freddy Got Fingered. It's a comedy, I guess. It's such a bad movie. That's the only movie that I have ever turned off in my life that I was just like, no, I don't want to watch this. But usually I always give movies the benefit of a doubt, and I watch it all the way through. So if you watch Jacob's Ladder, you have to watch it to the end, okay? Even if it gets weird, even if you get lost, even if you're like, what the heck did Tiffany recommend this for? Trust me, watch it till the end, and then we can talk about it, okay? So those are my 2 psychological horror movies. There are more out there. Titus? No. There are more out there, but I'm only doing 2 per video. So how did I do? What did you think? Do you have one that you'd love to recommend? Because I am all ears. If I haven't already seen it. Oh, I do have. No, you know what? I'm going to save that movie for another time. You guys, thank you so much for putting up with me, listening to me rattle on about movies, and I hope you're enjoying the horror movie series because I have more. Yeah, I totally do. And I'll see you guys next time, hopefully. I hope to see you there. Bye.